comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus Lane. Vixen and Blitzen and all his reindeers pulling on the reins. Bells are ringing, children singing, all is merry and bright. So hang your stockings and say your prayers, 'cause Santa Claus comes tonight. Here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus Lane. He's got a bag that's filled with toys for boys and girls again. Hear those sleigh bells jingle jangle, oh what a beautiful sight. Jump in bed and cover your head, 'cause Santa Claus comes tonight. Here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus Lane. He doesn't care if you're rich or poor, he loves you just the same. Santa knows that we're God's children, that makes everything right. Fill your hearts with Christmas cheer, 'cause Santa Claus comes tonight. Here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus Lane. He'll come around when the chimes ring out, it's Christmas morn again. Peace on earth will come to all if we just follow the light. Let's give thanks to the Lord above, 'cause Santa Claus comes tonight. 'Cause Santa Claus comes tonight.
Here are the chords that are needed. This version of the song is in the key of D, which is the same key as the Elvis version. You'll need an open D, an A7, A diminished, D diminished, D7, a G, a B7, E minor 7, and an E minor. Let's take a look at these chords on the guitar. You'll need a D, A7, A diminished, D diminished, D7, G, a B7, E minor 7, and an E minor. Let's look at the chord pattern through the verse. The first line starts off, here comes Santa Claus. So it goes, here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus, on the D chord. And then it goes, right down Santa Claus Lane. So what that is A7, right down Santa Claus, and that's the A diminished, and then back to the A7. If you notice, I'm making the A7 with my first two fingers, because I could slide it down and then just have that A diminished ready to go. So that's kind of a key to that. So that's the first line, and that line repeats 4 times for each of the verses. And then for the second line, it starts off, you're still on the A7 chord, so it's Vixen and Blitzen and all his reindeer pulling on the reins. So that's after the A7, go to the D, pulling, and then if you notice in that D chord, you can just slide these 2 notes down a fret, and you have that D diminished there. On the reins, back to D, and then you do D7 to transition to the next part. Now the next line requires a little memorization. It goes, bells are ringing, children singing, all is merry and bright. So what's happening there is it starts off with a G, bells are ringing, to the D diminished, and then D, children, B7, singing, E minor 7, all is A7, merry and bright. And then you do a D7 to transition to the next line, which is exactly the same pattern. So hang your stockings and say your prayers, 'cause Santa Claus comes tonight. The only difference between the first line and the second line is the first go around you have an E minor 7, all is merry and bright. And the second time around you do Santa Claus, regular E minor, Santa Claus comes tonight, to end that part. The strumming pattern you choose is really up to you. I've chosen to emphasize the upbeat on this particular version. Sounds like, here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus Lane. Vixen and Blitzen and all his reindeer pulling on the reins. You can certainly choose to do a more traditional strumming pattern with this song. It might sound something like this. Here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus Lane. Vixen and Blitzen and all his reindeers pulling on the reins. Bells are ringing, children singing, all is merry and bright. So hang your stockings and say your prayers, 'cause Santa Claus comes tonight. You can even play a simpler version of this song by eliminating some of the diminished and 7th chords. It might sound something like this.
Here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus Lane. Vixen and Blitzen and all his reindeer pulling on the reins. Bells are ringing, children singing, all is merry and bright. So hang your stockings and say your prayers, 'cause Santa Claus comes tonight.